President William Ruto is cleverly making himself available and behind the scene seeking audience with Raila Odinga after months of dismissal and chest thumping that I won this election free and fair and square. The sudden change of heart is very suspicious. And in this podcast, I want us to dig deep and interrogate more about this. But I want to say that William Samoei Ruto should carry his baggage. And Raila Odinga should not entertain any attempt to call for the brotherhood environment. William Ruto should go and call Rigathi his brother. The brotherhood story, the handshake environment story that Ruto is seeking behind the scene, Raila Odinga must avoid as a plague. I want us to analyze this, starting with this video when Ruto spoke last month, I think during the Fitr, I think.
Meona tena wanalalamika. Wanasema, mbona Ruto ameita Raila my brother? Angemuita mtu ya kitendawili. Sasa, mimi nataka niwaambie hawa jamaa. Please. Wacha nirudie tena. My brother Raila Odinga. Tuwache maandamano. Kama kumuita Raila Odinga my brother, ndio itasaidia awache maandamano. Awache fujo. Mali ya watu isiharibike. Biashara ya watu isiharibike. Mimi nitamuita my brother mara 10. Hata nitaongeza my dear brother.
I want us to analyze that video clip, and I think I had shared it in this channel. If you listen to what William Ruto is saying there, that if calling Raila Odinga my brother is what is going to help make this country have peace by stopping that mass action, then I will call Raila Odinga even dear brother. So apparently, I can tell you that fine, the mass action had stopped. And if the brotherhood talk was on stopping the mass action, then the mass action has stopped. So why do you think William Ruto still needs Raila Odinga? Because this is part of multiple reports is making himself available and is pushing behind the scene to draw Raila Odinga near him. This is the truth. William Ruto has known very well that things are not right. And look at this video. I want us just to learn let's just learn from, this is the time he actually he received Kotu boss Francis Atwoli in Kakamega. And I think that was in February, the very first week of February. And I remember the country talking about how William Ruto is a master of forgiveness or master of Kenya politics. But I warned and I said that was a move, that was a political move. As we talk, the finance bill has 2 provisions that Kotu must support. 1, 3% housing levy, and 2, a tax on trade associations. And I can tell you that Kotu boss Francis Atwoli cannot even come and say no. He's been caged. I looked at this photo trended during the Njambini burial, Mukami burial. Rigathi was equally shocked. If you review, William Ruto was not shocked by Raila Odinga's presence in that event. He had known. and they might have talked even before. If you look at the point Raila was seated, that seat was reserved. One seat. It was reserved for him. Rigathi maybe did not have an idea. He was not on the know about whether Raila Odinga was going or not. But William Ruto knew very well Raila was going there. It is not a coincidence that they left there, and immediately they left there, they again met in Kasarani. And I want you to listen to how Raila explained the meeting they held on Sunday during the Mashimeji Derby.
Fight each other. The following day, there was Mashimeji Derby at Nyayo Stadium. And I was going there because I'm the patron of Gorma here, Kogalo. And as we were coming around Madaraka Estate, there was a traffic jam. Then I asked, why is the jam today on a Sunday? I told, oh, you know, the roads have been closed because the president is going to the stadium. That's when I knew that Mr. Ruto was going to the stadium. And we met there again in the stadium, and we watched the match together. The halftime, we went down to the lounge. There's only one lounge. And then we met there, and the pictures were taken. We did not talk anything other than football. And there was no handshake. And I want to say this for umpteenth time. Mr. Gachagua, understand, we do not want any handshake with Kenya Kwanza. You have not asked for it, we don't want it. And we will not go for it.
Now, someone was just telling me that is the first Mashemeji Derby that William Ruto attended as a politician. Even as a deputy president, he never attended even one. That was the first one. So, they did not know. Ruto availed himself in Kasarani. Raila attends, so Raila is not a guest of that derby. Raila attends those derbies. Ruto availed himself. And I insist, Raila should not entertain. Let Ruto carry his burden. Let Ruto carry his burden. I don't know. You know, price petrol is up. Corruption has started sprouting. Skewed appointments is already raising eyebrows. The price of sugar is already retailing at 450, 2 kg. Millers have refused to import duty-free maize because they can't find enough good price in the market. And fertilizer subsidy is already becoming a scandal. Then someone is telling you, "Eti my brother," not Raila. No. Raila should leave that story. Forget about that story. Now, I want to tell you what is happening. But before that, I need to give an update. Over the Mzes fundraiser, we had got 27,000, and I've understood that the surgery can be done on Tuesday or Wednesday or Friday. That is when Mukumu does the surgeries. People will know there. So over the target, I know there are those who had reached out and said they had pledged. I've decided to make a day extension until tomorrow, Wednesday at 8, so that at least if we can top up, itafika. So I've made 1 day extension until tomorrow in the morning. Hey, leo ni siku gani? Mungu wangu. Leo ni Wednesday. Until tomorrow, Thursday, in the morning at 8. So kindly, those who had pledged and those who are still supporting, kindly. What we are doing, Mzee suffered some hemorrhoids. Yes, yeah, I think I've got it right. And it's due for a surgery that was costing 67,000. We were only doing a fundraiser to pull 50. We had reached 29. Yes, 29, not 27. We have reached 29. So we are remaining with only 21,000. Apart from the pledges and those who had also maybe hoped to, kindly, let's push so that when I send it tomorrow in the morning, at least we hit the target. I'll be so glad. The number pinned there. I want us to move very faster to this. I don't want to lose the grip of this analysis. What is happening here is this. William Ruto has realized, and this is what happened, that due to Rigathi Gachagwa's vengeful utterances against Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, he's made bit of ground being hostile to UDA. Unlike Rigathi, Raila and Uhuru was a former president for 10 years. So Raila and Uhuru has a national profile. Rigathi Gachagua had some Mount Kenya profile. That's what he still have, Mount Kenya profile. So he realized that the more Rigathi was attacking and the vengeful utterances against Uhuru and Raila, it made a little bit ground hostile for them. So returning Raila in the fold could be perceived by his advisors as a strategy that would excite Raila's supporters, because if we check online, Raila's supporters, there are those who really get happy that it is Rigathi Gachagua humiliation. So because they're humiliating Rigathi temporarily, that will get some excitement, and then maybe the masses coalesce around William Ruto. But that is far from it. Rigathi Gachagua must and will be Ruto's deputy running mate in 2027. That's a temporal thing. And he just wants to use Raila, draw Raila close. One, it will be perceived by those in Azimio as, humiliating Rigathi, which is an excitement, some temporary political excitements for the country. But that's not it. That is not it. Ruto will do that and manages things the way he wants, but in the fullness of time, you'll have Rigathi. I need to tell those in Azimio la Umoja, the two things, and the country need to know, the two things that are in President Ruto's mind. One is, how am I going to get re-election? That's number one. So, between now and that question, the question before it is, how am I going to manage my support base? So there are two things. Forget about the plan and everything. Just, how am I going to manage my support base, and how am I going to get my re-election? So, there is something that I know many people don't want to talk about, but I want to say it in this analysis. Raila is known to be very complicit when on the side of power. He's known to be, very compromised. And when the moment the story of my brother will get into Raila's head and both Ruto's head, what is going to happen? Number one, Ruto is going to mutilate that ODM party. Take that to bank and borrow loan. Take that. He will take, because the other rebel MPs will then thrive in that, mutilate ODM party and compromise those bipartisan talks and fix IEBC on his own wish to manage his re-election. Take that. There are two things. He will mutilate ODM, or rather the Azimio fold. Because what Ruto will do today, he will have a deal with Raila. Then the next day, he will now go and look for Jeremiah Kioni or even Kalonzo Musyoka. And with that, he will manage. So I think it's not. Let Raila remain on the other side. Remain on the side of the people. Don't. The other thing is this. Ruto is fighting a lot of battles now in government. Fighting a lot of battles. And of course, we're going to look at this, something in my next analysis. For those who've been following this latest Kemsa scandal, the mass firing, the firing of the whole and reshuffling is already threatening the loyalty levels. And there is a perception that some political diagnosis are now getting shape due to those firings, because those who are feeling that those who sometimes are fired could have been someone else's choices. And so because of that, you also look at the dam split. Where Mount Kenya is emerging and is saying that look here, there are some dam projects that were supposed to be mounted, but they were taken to Kambani. That is a battle. Look at the man one shilling, one vote, which Raila Odinga had vouched for under the BBI. The Mount Kenya team are also pushing it, but William Ruto's want something that do not want to entertain it because he will be seen as if favoring the region. There is a battle. So what he can actually do is to have Raila to suppress some of these battles. That's why I think the son of Jaramogi must keep off. The son of Sugoi afanye vitu zake. Because this is what will happen. And this is my last bit. The finance bill is talking about overtaxation. And the moment you create a scenario where you're comfortably around power, Ruto will continue harming Kenyans under the template of economic recovery, that I want to recover the economy, and he will become unpopular. However, when we talk about 2027, for 2027 contest to be there can be no contest between Ruto and Ruto himself. You must have Ruto and those who are against William Ruto. And you must agree that UDA came with a pool of, they rode their way to power through promises. Some or majority of which cannot be achieved even now, even in the next 5 years. So Ruto will suppress competition because who is this person that will have audacity to tell Kenyans that you need to think about me because Ruto was hurting or was insensitive of the population? In fact, how do you articulate alternative agenda and policies if you're around him? No, you're not. And for you to push an alternative, to push your side as an alternative, you must be around him. I am fully convinced that William Ruto himself is seeking the support of Raila Odinga. And maybe this has come from Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta has told him that, yes, you may need to. Because things are not just easy. Someone was just telling me, Kevin, do you realize that immediately Lieutenant Ogola was picked as the Mkubwa Jeshi, things have gone silent? So there is a lot of things that are at stake as we talk now. I even know that at some point, this is some of the things playing out. That is an effort to suppress. The story of brotherhood. Let William Ruto go and call Rigathi Gachagua, Stephen Musalia Mudavadi, Wetangula, Duale, those guys. On political grounds, forget about my brother Raila. On politics, his brother are Rigathi, Musalia and the rest. So that these people can carry their baggage, and if Kenyans are gonna judge them after 5 years, they should be judged on their own track record, not on Raila Odinga. Otherwise, Raila Odinga will emerge another punching bag. That's my bold.